we are now isolating all the feed lines for
A
the
los 3
different gas
segundos
systems
ya
from
el
the Falcon
control
9 rocket.
ya se
Those will
encienden
then
los
get
motores y
vented
terminan
overboard through
despegando.
the umbilicals and the strong back itself, and you can actually hear that venting right now. Now, something else you'll see is our sound suppression technique. Our rockets are super loud, and that sound can impart pressure loads back on the rocket itself. So just before liftoff, you'll see a ton of water dumping onto the pad. This absorbs and prevents the sound from hitting the structure and reverberating back onto the
Un
rocket, which
minuto.
can cause
FTS is armed.
damage.
Falcon 9 is in startup and is now controlling.
Dragon in countdown.
Now that we are in countdown, the flight computer on Dragon will switch to countdown mode. And we've also heard the
Pasamos
flight
a pantalla.
coordination system
Bueno,
is
vamos a
on.
pasar a pantalla grande. 37 segundos y ya.
That's our final go for launch. SpaceX reporting go and the crew reporting go.
30 seconds.
Vamos con ello.
Seconds.
15, 14, 13,
Standing by
2,
for the first launch of
10,
humans
9,
from Space Launch
8,
Complex 40.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
vamos.
2, 1. Ignition. Engine full power. And liftoff.
Lanzamiento.
Crew-9. Go SpaceX. Go Falcon. Go NASA.
Liftoff of
Lanzamiento
Crew-9 now
continuo.
soaring to the International Space Station.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal. Copy 1 Alpha.
Vamos
Those
con
9
todo.
Merlin engines now providing 1.7 million pounds of thrust, propelling Falcon 9 and Crew-9 and continuing to get good calls from teams here on the ground.
Of course, these
33
incredible views
segundos
mean we
y
are
ya
just a little bit
nos
past
acercamos al
30
punto
minutes
de
or 30
máxima
seconds
presión
into our ninth
aerodinámica.
rotational crew
Power
mission.
and telemetry nominal.
Onboard
La
Dragon and Falcon
telemetría es
9 with good
normal.
callouts from mission control that everything is looking good. With that, stage 1 is throttling down to pass through max Q, which is the period
Muy
of
bien, nos estamos
maximum
acercando al punto de
dynamic
máxima
pressure on
presión
Falcon 9
aerodinámica.
during ascent.
Max Q.
Confirmation
Muy
of
bien,
max Q,
llegamos al punto de máxima presión aerodinámica, max Q.
Vehicle is
Ya alcanzó los
supersonic.
velocidades
and that Falcon
de
9 is now
sonido.
traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Stage 1 throttle up.
Muy bien, bajó la potencia de los 9 motores Merlin 1D.
Stage 1 Bravo.
Copy 1 Bravo.
That call out for 1 Bravo means we're in the second and final abort mode for the first stage and continuing to get good performance.
MVAC chill is underway.
The crew is
Muy
pulling
bien, acaba
just
de
over
confirmar
2
el
Gs at
enfriamiento
this
del
point. Next
motor
up,
de la
we
segunda etapa
heard
del
the
motor
engine
Merlin
chill on
1D
the second
optimizado
stage.
para la
MVAC engine
por
has
una
begun,
tubería
and
más
then we will
grande.
have MECO, or main engine cutoff, where the 9 engines on the first stage will cut off ahead of the first and the second stages, and then will separate from one another. Then that single Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage will ignite and continue to carry Crew-9 to orbit while the first stage begins its journey back to Earth. Two minutes in, and the crew is now traveling over 2,600 miles per hour.
Stage 1 is throttling down.
Confirmation there from mission control that stage 1 is throttling down as we prepare for main engine cutoff, followed shortly thereafter by stage separation and second engine start 1.
Muy bien.
You did hear mission control out that we are chilling our
MECO.
Parado el motor
There's
principal.
confirmation of MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
Separación de etapas.
Stage 2 Alpha.
MVAC ignition. Copy 2 Alpha.
With that, we have had confirmation of MECO, stage SEP, and the ignition of our MVAC engine on board stage 2. Our next major milestone is going to be the beginning of stage 1 boost back burn, which is expected in just a couple of seconds here. Of course, if you are just joining us, you've got views of our first stage on the left-hand side of your screen and of MVAC burning with our Crew-9 astronauts aboard up in space
Aquí
on the right-hand
tenemos
side of your
imágenes.
screen.
Now we are coming up on 3 minutes and 20 seconds since liftoff today, traveling over 4,000 miles per hour and 76 miles downrange.
As our first stage makes its way back to Earth, we are tracking a landing attempt today at landing zone 1, not too far from where we lifted off in Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Dragon, SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
Confirmation there that both vehicles
Freedom copies, nominal
Muy bien, todo está
are on nominal
tranquilo
trajectories.
por el
Everything looking
momento.
good. Everything is looking good.
And we're getting good performance on that single Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage. The crew's G-load dips right now. We are going to prepare to hit the separation event. Right now, they're about 1 G, which is about what we're used to experiencing on Earth. Crew's traveling almost 5,000 miles per hour now and 105 miles in altitude.
As we await the entry burn for our
Todo
first
está
stage,
aquí
you are getting
tranquilo.
great views of it on the left-hand side of your screen. You can also see 2 of our titanium grid fins, which are the primary mechanical structures.
Dragon, SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
Confirmation there from Mission Control that everything is still looking good.
Freedom copies, nominal trajectory.
La trayectoria nos
Now,
acaba
as I
de decir
mentioned,
que
those
está
grid fins
normal.
are the primary mechanical structures that we use to steer the booster back toward its landing zone, which today is LZ1 at Cape Canaveral. Just as kind of a quick point of reference, those grid fins are about 4 by 5 feet, so roughly the size of a coffee table. Getting our first tracking shots of the booster on its way back to Earth. Again, we are tracking the first stage on the left-hand side of your screen and MVAC up in space on the right.
And we do continue to hear good calls for that second stage. Again, we will see this continue to fire until close to 9 minutes into the flight, now at 5 minutes and 45 seconds since liftoff today. This is accelerating Dragon to more than 17,000.
Dragon, SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
More good news.
Freedom copies, nominal trajectory.
This second stage is bringing Dragon to more than 17,000 miles per hour. That puts our crew in orbit. And the single
Muy
Merlin
bien,
vacuum
nos estamos
engine can
acercando al
produce over
punto del encendido de los
220,000
tres
pounds of thrust
motores
in the vacuum of space.
de la primera etapa, el encendido de reentrada. Esto hará que no tenga mayor estrés estructural durante el descenso. Muy bien, se confirmó el encendido, bien corto.
Stage 1 does perform 3 burns on its way back to Earth. The first is the boost back burn, followed shortly thereafter by the entry burn. The entry burn is used by Falcon 9 to slow the vehicle down before it reaches the denser parts of the Earth's atmosphere.
Dragon, SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
Aquí vamos.
Nominal trajectories there from Mission Control.
Freedom copies, nominal trajectory.
That entry burn is, of course, followed by the landing burn, during which time we'll light 3 of the Merlin engines on board the first stage.
Muy bien, se espera el encendido.
And we expect to see that landing burn just about a minute before we expect Dragon to be inserted into orbit. So we have 2 very exciting phases of flight, both for our first stage and our Crew-9 astronauts happening here at the same time.
Aquí vamos. Confirmación de aterrizaje.
ISS base.
So a great touchdown of stage 1 there just a second ago. And now, of course, we
Esto
are
sí,
continuing
tuvimos
to
un
follow
problema
our
con lo de la
Crew-9
animación.
astronauts on their way to space.
And we continue to get good calls for this second stage, that Merlin vacuum engine continuing to fire and propel our crew, now moving over 12,600 miles per hour and 611 miles downrange. Just over 8 minutes since liftoff today, so we are expecting to see this continue to fire until just about the 9-minute mark, at which point this engine will cut off. And of course, Dragon will coast for a few minutes, still attached
Terminal
to the second
guidance.
stage.
Muy bien, y a punto de entrar en la órbita. Bueno, esto. Ya alcanzó los 24,000 kilómetros por hora.
Shannon,
That call
Copy, Shannon.
And that call is for Shannon, Ireland. That would be the abort zone if we were to abort at this point in the flight. However, we are continuing to hear good calls about Dragon's performance.
MVAC shutdown.
Confirmation of the Merlin vacuum engine shutting down.
Dragon.
Muy bien,
SpaceX,
apagado del
nominal orbit
motor.
insertion.
Good news there from
And Freedom
mission,
copies, nominal orbital insertion.
from mission control and our crew that we have had nominal
Dragon,
orbit insertion.
SpaceX, launch escape system disarmed.
Freedom copies, LES disarmed.
In 9 quick minutes, we now have 2 new crew members on their way to the International Space Station, having taken off from Space Launch Complex 40. The crew now being in a good or expected orbit. We'll continue to coast for these few minutes, and then we get our first views inside the capsule of our 2 crew members, Nick Hague and Alexander
Muy bien.
Gorbanov. They are just continuing to stay in their suits and in
Ya
their seats during this
desactivó
dynamic
el
portion
sistema
of
de
the flight.
escape
We're
de
going to continue
emergencia.
to coast for a few minutes after this second stage engine cutoff. This allows the rates and motion from that long burn to settle out. There are some small reaction thrusters on the upper stage
Ya
the upper
solo
part of
20
the second
minutos
stage
más
that
y
can be
terminamos
used to
el
counteract
directo.
any residual motion. That basically makes
Bueno,
sure
bien.
we are in a stable coast before Dragon separates from Falcon, and that'll happen about 12 minutes into the flight. So about a minute and a half from now, we expect to see Dragon actually separating from the second stage. Again, we did hear the crew has been successfully inserted into a good orbit. And again, this is them now in microgravity, one of them, Alexander Gorbanov, for the very first time.
So as Leah mentioned, we are now just a few minutes away from the separation of Dragon from stage 2, during which time a number of activation checkouts occur. Automatically, first we're going to be checking out 12 of the Draco maneuvering thrusters all around the service section of the Dragon spacecraft. We're also, of course, going to get ready for that nose cone opening, which will allow Dragon to dock with the International Space Station about 28
Muy
hours
bien,
from
después
now.
de la separación que se hace
The
con
nose
unos
cone stays
minutos,
closed for the flight uphill to help
bueno,
protect again all
va a
of
abrir
the
la nariz,
guidance, navigation, and
el
control sensors and
fondo,
Dragon's docking
el fondo
adapter.
de la nariz para que se puedan
It's also
poner
covering 4
el
of our
sistema de
Draco thrusters
aplastamiento
that
más
will be
de los
used for the majority
motores
of
que
different phase
harán que
burns required as
lo
Dragon
lleven,
chases down
la
the space
Dragon
station.
hacia la aproximación final para el
We are currently
acoplamiento.
standing by for that separation, which could happen anytime in the next couple of minutes.
Vamos con ella.
Currently, you can see the crew is just relaxing in their seats. They are definitely vigilant, though. They are able to monitor those crew displays in front of them, keep up with what's going on in the mission. They could take control if they needed to. However, it's been a seamless ride to space today.
Good views there looking up into Dragon's trunk, looking at the heat shield on the bottom of Dragon that Crew-9 will use when it returns home early next year.
Dragon, SpaceX, Dragon separation confirmed.
And Freedom copies, good separation.
There you heard from Mission Control, both
Dragon, Chief Engineer on Countdown 1. Nick, Alex, on behalf of the entire team, we thank you for flying with Falcon 9 today and wish you a great mission.
And Freedom, this launch director on Countdown. On behalf of the entire SpaceX launch and recovery team, I'd like to extend our congratulations to the entire Crew-9 team. Zena, Stephanie, Nick, Alex, Butch, and Sunny. It's an honor to be a part of this mission with all of you. I'd also like to give a shout out to the Falcon 9 Crew-9 combo. The best bundle in the league, baby. Godspeed, Crew-9.
Couldn't say it any better. Thank you, guys. You know, we had the opportunity to meet so many people that were involved with the Falcon 9, and along the way was a sweet ride. I'm pretty
El
sure my
lanzamiento se
youngest son would
concluyó
say it was
con
heaven.
éxito. Ya los dos
Alex has got a few words
astronautas
to add as well.
se encontraban con los otros dos que los dejaron abandonados.
How old is the
por todo, Uruguay. Ya me imagino la reacción de los dos astronautas que no pudieron viajar al espacio por el fallo de la cápsula Boeing.
Хочу сказать спасибо Роскосмосу, НАСА совместно со SpaceX за успешный запуск человека на орбиту, за очередной успешный запуск, и также благодарить родных и близких за поддержку. Спасибо.
Incredible words from our commander and great views of Dragon up in orbit on your screen right now.